We sing a new song of glorious triumph, for we see the government of God in our lives. This is a new song of glorious triumph, for we see the government of God in our lives. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations crowned. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations crowned. We sing a new song of glorious triumph, for we see the government of God in our lives. This is a new song of glorious triumph, for we see the government of God in our lives. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations crowned. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations We sing a new song of glorious triumph, for we see the government of God in our lives. This is a new song of glorious triumph, for we see the government of God in our lives. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations crowned. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations crowned. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the nations crowned. He is crowned, God of the whole world crowned, King of creation crowned, ruling the
I am proud to be a deplorable. Hello, I'm the Reverend Elaine Yavazak, and this is my 30-second video for Revelation Faithbook. Today's message, I'll be explaining why I'll be voting for Donald Trump. Yeah. Woo. First, I have a little something funny to share with you. You know how baptismal robes are made to get wet? Well, here's something a little funny. Look at the label on one of them. It says, dry clean only. Does that make any sense? I don't think so. Okay. And here's a little cartoon. Why didn't God stop the shooting? This is supposedly at a school. How could he? He's not allowed in school anymore. There you go. All these school shootings. I wonder where God is. People throw him out of school, so there you go. Just a quick update about when I spoke of a radiation-free and contact-free mammography machine. I said I was going to do some research on it, but before I was able to go any further, this is what I found out on a Facebook response to this photo I've posted. Here's the photo of the machine. Ever see that? Unfortunately, here is somebody's response on Facebook under that picture that I posted. She says, that link has been removed. Well, if it has been removed, how was I able to retrieve it off the internet? Really? However, mammography and ultrasound are the only two ways to diagnose breast cancer, and with today's technology, one mammogram has less radiation than 10 minutes in a plane at 35,000 feet. P.S. I am a nurse practitioner and 12-year breast cancer survivor, so I am qualified to make these medical statements. There is no way to diagnose cancer in any body part that is contact-free. And then I responded by saying, too bad that can't be real. Would have been great if it worked. Oh boy, okay. Now on with today's topic on why I'm voting for Trump. I am constantly hearing about the bad things the Clintons have done. The key word is done, meaning actions. Then I hear about some locker room talk. Yes, talk, not actions about what Trump has said. Well, I also found out some, false stories about him groping some woman in an airplane in first class. She said, he lifted up the armrest. In first class, you cannot lift up the armrests. Okay. Where was I? Just think about how many times Hillary has lied over and over again, and all the White House scandals. Are you actually going to compare? Neither candidate is perfect, but even someone with just half an ounce of common sense can clearly see who the best of the two are. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners. James 1:22-25 reads, but be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. Even after the leaked videos of Trump, I will explain why I am still voting for him. I'll start off with religious freedom. If Hillary becomes our president, God forbid, religious freedom will most likely cease. Trump is committed Trump is committed to overturning the Johnson Amendment, which prohibits pastors from speaking about politics in churches and may lose their tax-exempt status. It seems as though many issues relating to Christianity have been labeled political. Here are some issues that are becoming forbidden to speak of in church. They are as follows: sexual orientation, gender identity, racism, abortion, and the list goes on. If you cannot make people aware of what God calls sin, then that is a huge problem. Okay, here we go. Everyone should be able to live and practice their faith freely in America. 1 Corinthians 2:13 says, "Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual." What also scares me about Hillary is that she is for drafting women. That makes me worry about my two nieces. Oh boy. About abortion. Abortion is the biggest form of genocide in the world. Trump's staff gives us the best possible chance to overthrow abortion ever. Trump's VP, Mike Pence, has been in favor of numerous pro-life agendas and his career and has signed his pro-life bills into law. He stated that he would send Roe v. Wade back to the ash heap of history where it belongs if elected. In addition, 2 other pro-lifers have been selected by Trump to push his Pence-powered pro-life coalition. No other pro-lifers have expressed such interest in taking such measures like this before. Hillary Clinton says, "I want a Supreme Court who will uphold Roe v. Wade." Donald Trump wants a Supreme Court who will not uphold Roe v. Wade. Even she believes Trump's administration will try to overthrow Roe v. Wade. The Hyde Amendment. The Hyde Amendment prohibits federal tax dollars from contributing to abortions outside of rape, incest, or health of the mother. Hillary has vowed to overthrow it, while Trump has vowed to solidify it. I will not pass up the greatest opportunity to overthrow the vilest genocide in world history, only to allow a president in office who wants to make abortion more prominent. The Supreme Court. Trump is committed to appointing conservative pro-life judges to the Supreme Court. For those of you who are familiar with the Roe v. Wade decision, that's the power of the Supreme Court. The new appointees will be making major decisions for quite some time. This is the highest court, and their decisions stay for quite a long time. Recently, we lost Justice Antonin Scalia, and his replacement will be appointed by our next president. A liberal judge named Ruth Ginsburg, who was very liberal, will be retiring this presidential term. 2 other judges who may be retiring soon. We are living in a crazy time where bakers are being sued for not baking a cake for a same-sex wedding. Pastors are being accosted for refusing to perform same-sex weddings. The amount of babies being aborted has reached epidemic proportions. Churches are threatened to have their tax-exempt status taken away. We need a conservative Supreme Court. 1 Timothy 1:10 reads, "For whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine." Here's an article entitled "Hillary Clinton Says Christians in America Must Deny Their Faith in Christianity." Okay. The infamous firehouse siren doesn't even like it. Okay. I'm going to continue anyway. This goes on all the time here. Okay. Christians in America must deny their faith in Christianity according to Hillary Clinton by Theodore Schubert. Thanks to the right scoop. Hillary Clinton just said that Christians must deny their faith through the enforcement of laws by stating that the Christian belief in being pro-life and anti-abortion must change, and that this should be done through laws and political will. If Christians must change Christian teachings in regards to abortion, then what Hillary Clinton is essentially saying is that Christians must deny their faith. Hillary Clinton, speaking at the Women in the World Summit on April 23rd, made the statement, "Far too many women are denied access to reproductive health care and safe childbirth, and laws don't count for much if they're not enforced. Rights have to exist in practice, not just on paper. Laws have to be backed up with resources and political will. And deep-seated cultural codes, religious beliefs, and structural biases have to be changed." That's one evil woman, if I say so myself. Notice that she says that the change of Christian beliefs is the unfinished business of the 21st century, which means she wants to persecute Christians. Like not enough of that is going on as it is. Oh boy. God willing, Donald Trump will vanquish this witch in the elections. The most horrific persecution of Christians is happening right now. Christians are being killed and tortured in the most demonic and cruel ways you can imagine, and it's happening in Mexico. Hundreds of thousands of people slaughtered, countless innocents forced under the yoke of the most horrific and sinister tyranny. In Revelation, chapter 21, verse 8 says, "But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death." A U.S. priest says, "Voting for the pro-abort in this election may put your soul in grave danger." Phoenix, Arizona, October 6, 2016. LifeSite News. "Your soul will be in grave danger if you vote for a candidate and party that are committed to expanding abortion on demand, especially if you present yourself for Holy Communion after casting such a vote with the full knowledge of what you are doing," the rector of the Cathedral of Saints, Simon and Jude, said in a homily skewing pro-abortion arguments that and informing Catholics of their duty to vote pro-life. Okay. Father John Blanket, whose diocese is led by Bishop Thomas Olmsted, began his homily explaining that there is an important distinction to be made between social ills and intrinsic evils. He said Catholics may disagree about issues of prudential judgment like immigration, racial injustice, the economy, and healthcare, but may never at any time, under any circumstances, commit, promote, or enable intrinsic evils. Suppose a candidate, now I like this example he put here. Suppose a candidate for president promoted a policy that would make it legal for someone to kill a black person if that black person created a hardship for them getting the education they desired. He said, after describing how the two parties differ on affirmative action, how many of you would be comfortable voting for that candidate? I certainly wouldn't. Exodus 20:13 reads, "Thou shalt not kill." I don't think Hillary likes that commandment. I don't think she likes that commandment. Exodus 23:7 reads, "Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked." I will not justify the wicked. Okay, no candidate is perfect. We all know this. But there is one thing that I don't like about Trump, and that is he is for fracking. Let's just say I don't like that freaking fracking, okay? I'm going to explain to you just how dangerous it can be. A lot of people don't realize the dangers of fracking, and I'm going to tell you right now. Both Hillary and Trump are for fracking. Very scary indeed. Luckily, Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo made a decision to ban fracking in New York. What a relief that is. I understand that fracking will create jobs, but to those of you who don't know how dangerous fracking can be, here's an article about it. Okay. Fracking, a silent death sweeps across the nation, by Carol Ann Wright. From Natural News. Farmland is tainted. Drinking water turns flammable. You take a shower or turn on the water faucet, and you'll have fire coming out. Really? Sound good? I don't think so. And humans, along with animals, are sick. The cause? Fracking. It's terrorizing the environment, destroying the health of those who live close to the sites, and contaminating the food supply. With more than 600,000 fracking wells and waste injection locations around the country, if this practice is not contained soon, clean water and food will become a distant memory. Fracking 101. What exactly is fracking? It's a technique used by the oil industry to facilitate the flow of natural gas or petroleum by injecting mass amounts of noxious liquid deep into the earth. The chemicals used in fracking: benzene, arsenic, ethylene, glycol, lead, formaldehyde, toluene, Toluene, uranium-238, radium-226, to name a few. Devastate the land and water within proximity to the poisonous injection sites. Even more alarming, the toxins are also linked with birth defects, cancer, autism, kidney failure, and autoimmune disorders. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Water on fire. One of the more dramatic illustrations of fracking contamination is water catching fire straight out of the faucet. Seriously. The methane levels are so high, tap water becomes combustible. Not only does fracking ruin the land and water, but it also involves livestock and plants with toxins that eventually enter into the food supply. Farmers who live close to fracking wells have become seriously ill, and animals die. Still for fracking? Really? One example is seen with Marilyn and Robert Hunt. Farmers in West Virginia, goats, chickens, and cattle are raised on their 70-acre organic farm. The Hunts turned down an offer from the Chesapeake Energy Corporation to lease their mineral rights. This doesn't prevent Chesapeake from stealing gas from both sides of our property, according to Mrs. Hunt in the Organic Consumers Association article, Fracking Our Farms, a Tale of 5 Farming Families. Then in 2010, the company received a permit to dispose fracking waste on her land. She recalls the water got little white flecks in it, and we started to get sick. We lost a whole lot of baby goats that got gastrointestinal disorders from drinking the water. Curiously, the cattle were spared any adverse effects. Mrs. Hunt believes this is due to the fact that the cattle drink from an uncontaminated spring high on the property. Oh boy. Susan Wallace Babb, a Colorado rancher, has also suffered from fracking. In 2005, she breathed in fumes from an overflowing natural gas tank half a mile from her property. She collapsed unconscious. The next morning, Susan was violently ill with severe diarrhea and uncontrollable vomiting. Lovely. Within a few days, a burning rash broke out all over her body. Lesions soon followed. Her symptoms became worse whenever she went outdoors. A year later, she moved to a small town in Texas. Susan's health improved over the course of 3 years until Exxon began fracking wells 14 miles away. Her symptoms returned within a few short months. End the madness. Until farmers refuse to lease their land to fracking operators, the problem will continue to escalate. In an effort to educate fellow ranchers about the dangers of fracking, Jackie Schilke, Schilke, of North Dakota warns, they're here to rape this land, make as much money as they can, and get the hell out of here. They could give a crap less what they are doing here. They will come on your property, look you straight in the eye, and lie to you. So used to people lying to me. It's like, you don't know who's telling the truth anymore these days. It's really getting sick and crazy. 1 Corinthians 3:17 reads, If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20 reads, What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. We are to take care of our bodies, not have things that make us sick, because we are God's temple. Okay. So, my next video. Surprisingly, I'm going to start working on my Christmas video already. And I'm going to have like a little slideshow of 1 or 2 pictures from each of my videos. And I'm going to have like, say the Christmas story, have a short speech after that, and then have like a slideshow collage with music of some pictures from previous videos. That should be good. Then for my New Year's video, I'm going to talk about something that's way overdue. I've noticed on Facebook, year after year after year, after somebody loses a loved one, they are still so tremendously heartbroken. And I'm going to explain how to deal with losing a loved one and how I deal with it myself. So that is an overdue video for sure. Don't forget to vote. November 8th. Vote for Trump. So, that's all for today. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now. Hello, I'm the Reverend Elaine Yavazak, and this is my 20... Ooh, ooh, ooh. Have a little funny... First things first, have a little something funny. Okay. First, have something a little funny to share with you. You know how baptismal robes are supposed to be getting wet? And we have, deplorable. A radiation-free and no contact I can't do this today. Too bad that can't be real. And then I responded by saying, too bad that can't be real. For those of you who are familiar with Roe versus Wade, it's tongue-tied today. For liars, for liars, for liars, for liars, for liars, for liars. Okay. The infamous firehouse siren doesn't even like it. Okay. I'm going to continue anyway. This goes on all the time here. Have to be changed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Liars, liars, liars. Okay. I don't know what's today. I think I'm just gonna skip that paragraph. What should I do? Okay. Okay. Good, I don't have lipstick on my teeth. Okay. This is... Okay, no candidate. I don't like that freaking fracking. Okay. Both Hillary and Trump are for tracking. Both Hillary and Trump are for fracking. Toluene, T-O-U... Formaldehyde, toluene, okay, T-O-L-U-E-N-E. End the madness. End the madness. End the madness. Less than what... Okay. Okay. 1 Corinthians 3. Till next time. Excuse me. So, hope to see you. There's a car, a really loud car. And it's getting on this video, the noise. So, that's all for today. Hope to see you next time. Bye for now.